Okay, guys, we can get started. Who am I? I'm gonna walk over here. I can't see any of this shit. I like to walk around, so I'm gonna be annoying. I'm David Girvin. I have no idea how I'm here still. If you've heard my talks, I pretty much say that every time because it's very confusing. Husband, father, I'm a huge activities person because I was the only child and have ADD, so surfing, jiu-jitsu, I build all kinds of shit. My neighbors love me because I have an F450 in my front yard with the cab off of it, and I'm trying to put a 600 horsepower diesel engine in right now in my driveway. So, I'm a tinkerer. Background was not tech. Obviously, I was ship captain, pilot. I had a welding company. I was a missionary. I'm actually a chaplain for the South Sudanese Army. Yeah. I told you I'm weird, right? So, and then my tech background, my first hire was at 1Password, and I helped build out their offensive security team. We hacked Purple, Bit Discovery, Red Canary. I built their security from ground up. And Sumo Logic is where I'm at now. So, and that's my lovely family. That's the only reason I do this shit. Because if it wasn't for them, I'd probably be a beach bum living in my van surfing. So, just to be, I want the expectations to be there, right? And I'm in my 40s and have a 7-week-old baby because I'm stupid. So last time I apologized, and if you don't know why I'm apologizing, because I was a weird hacker guy who built security programs and actually really care about people. My biggest thing is leadership and taking care of your employees. I've done a lot of talks on this, right? And then I went to the dark side because when Red Canary laid us off, we were like, oh, cool. I got a couple CISO opportunities. I was like, oh, yay, I'm leveling up. I'm going to be a CISO now. And we're going to go back over here. And they were mid-sized companies type of thing. And then I realized, oh, I won't have budget. And I'm going to get blamed as soon as there's a breach. And a friend of mine from Sumo called me and said, please come be a sales guy. And I thought, let's try it. I don't know that part of the industry very well, but I've done sales in a former life. And I want to learn it, look at it from a pen testing point of view. I'm an offensive guy, that's what I do. And look at the social engineering aspects and all those kind of things. So yes, again, I'm sorry I went to the dark side. Stop talking shit about me behind my back. No, I know you don't. We love everybody, right? So, but yeah, here's my warning. Please read. There we go. And if you don't know me, I talk shit all the time, but none of it's real, right? I wish I was a stand-up comedian. So when I get to your position and just rail you for it, don't take offense. Trust me, I think worse of myself than any single person in this room. I just love this picture. What's a sales bro? Oh, okay, let's start off. Let's get going. What is a sales bro? Let's look at it from my background, social engineering, right? So let's look at it from an analytical point of view. This is what they're thinking. You get that job by bullshitting on your interview, saying you're the best. I'm gonna bring that money in, son. That's how I'm gonna get this job, yeah? And then you can be a winner, and you land a 7-figure deal, and you are Captain Big Balls, killing it. And then all of a sudden, it's next year. And you haven't sold anything yet, and you're a pile of shit now to the company, and they'll cut you. That creates an unstable situation in your head, right? And I'm telling you engineers this so you stop hating people. You need to understand they're just as crazy as us. It's a crowded market. You get fired when you don't earn. It all starts over every year, like I said. You have to hit your quote every year. And we'll talk about pricing, how all that kind of stuff works, so you guys kind of understand it. I'm trying to bring visibility, down the gap, so we all know what each other do and how we can work together to make a safer and better place. And we can all make money, right? Everybody has to get paid. Yeah, they don't realize the social engineer a culture to never be satisfied. So they basically, RDs will look for you. Oh, you got that new Porsche Turbo? I bet that payment's big, son. You got the beach house? Oh yeah, I'm gonna hire that guy. Because that guy's going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning with sweats if he hasn't sold something because he has a $12,000 mortgage payment. So this really is, like I've talked to a lot of hiring managers about this because I was a hiring manager, right? So that's not a good culture. But this is our overview. So I was just kind of setting the tone there. You know, we're going to go through all this stuff, right? This stuff is super important if you are a CISO, if you are an engineer, if you're doing finance, any of those things. Because if you don't know what the other side is doing and how they get compensated, then how are you going to do a deal together? I don't know. I'm going to turn my Zoom video off and be a dick on the call. That's how I'm going to get it done. Like, right? I've done that 100%, you know? But hopefully we can get past that. And then I'm also going to talk about traps and pitfalls on both sides. Sales guys can be slimy, you know, douche nozzles. I don't even know the word. And, you know, we can ruin all kinds of stuff because we're arrogant. So we're going to figure out, no, they're arrogant too, but we're going to figure out how we do that. And I keep saying we because I still, in my head, think I'm a hacker, but I'm a sales bro now. All right. This is an old slide from another talk. But social engineering, there's good and bad, right? If I'm doing a physical pen test op, and like we have some great optiv guys here that we chatted to listen to earlier, and you know, legally or illegally, if I'm breaking into a place, like these are the things I'm going to do. They're not good social engineering. I try to take back social engineering to be a beneficial thing because we just like to use hacky terms. I don't know, we're weird. But these are what I concentrate on. I'm doing OSINT. I know my audience. You know, I have a deal that's going to have buy-in from everybody that needs buy-in. I have a deal that's going to benefit both the seller and the buyer, and I'm selling something that actually does good, and I'm not bullshitting about it. Like these are all, and you're like, that's not social engineering, that's good business. Yeah, that's the point of this whole talk. So, and then servant leadership, if you heard any of my talks, that's all I ever talk about. Take care of your team. Care about the people around you. Care about the people you're selling to. Care about the people you're buying from. They're still people too. And they're engineers, like a lot of them, you know? So, don't be manipulative. Don't be a douchebag. You know, that's the bad side, obviously. This is what I thought it was. And this is why I apologized last year. Because when I say I went to the dark side, I really was like, damn, I like crossed over into Sith territory. So like, you know, obviously as an RVAsec engineer, I was the good guy. Engineering hated me, but I was still the good guy. And then I became an architect, director guy, and I was kind of the bad guy because I had to hire and fire people. And then you know, pen testers somewhere in the middle because they're just all evil. And then I became a sales engineer, and I was properly Sith in my head because I was like, oh no, I'm like turning my back on all my engineering folks, and now I'm just going to sell them software. But this is what it really is. Sorry for the Star Wars. I had to like do something fun and nerdy, and I didn't know what to do. You know, do you guys know like the Gray Jedis? I mean, that's some weird, like getting in deep Star Wars crap. They're like, everything balances itself. So as long as we're doing that, it works out. But it's kind of like that, right? Like in every business deal, in every software acquisition, there's going to be stuff you don't want, stuff you do want. You're going to have to give some, take some. No one's like a big winner unless they're like a complete like douche nozzle. So yeah, so this is kind of more a way I think about it now. Is like if I take all the things that I learned from running ships with 50 people on them and trying to, how can I care about these people and still be their boss? And same thing in security. How can I make this person's career blossom and still make sure they get the work done when they're working under me? Those kind of thought processes to a sales deal from both sides. I think we can do better if we start doing that kind of stuff. So that was the thought process in this, my corny, make fun of everybody thing. Yeah, that is 100% true in my life, the meme. If you haven't been to one of my talks before, it's just all memes. I'm like illiterate basically. I just use memes to talk. But these are all the sale roles. SDR, account executive, engineer, regional director, field CTO, actual E-suite, lawyers, professional services. So we're gonna like break these all down. And this is like, I want you to think of this as, you know, like you were doing OSINT on this kind of stuff. So when you go into your next engagement and you have to buy some software, you might have a bit of different understanding. And I tell you what, if you work with people and relate things, good businesses can happen, right? Especially if you know your boundaries in a deal. This old slide still holds true though. Tool acquisition's long and hard, right? This is from like a few years ago when I was talking about building RVAsec programs. Ignore the OAuth part because this is more broad now. But it's still the same. People don't really know how to buy tools. And when they do buy tools, it's a new shiny thing that never actually gets tuned, and then it's just some shithouse thing in the corner. And it's like, okay, cool, glad we spent $375,000 on that thing that we just get false alerts for, right? So keep that in mind. And then we'll start moving into the sales cycle with all that kind of stuff. So this is how it works. And we're going to go through these things, and I'm going to yell at people. Prospecting and research, people sending you emails and cold calling, discovery calls, short call to see if it's a good fit. I know you want to see the demo the first time you get on a meeting, but hey, software is super complicated. Like, if I wanted to demo everything that I can show at Sumo, it would take me like an hour and 45 minutes at least. And that's not even getting into like automation stuff, right? So the discovery call is someone like me going, what's your timeline, what's your budget, what you doing, what you this, so I can make sure that the demo fits you, unless it's like a super simple product. If it's like, like really simple access management or something, like, do you need to log in? Yes. Okay, cool, we did our discovery call. But that's not how most, enterprise level software is. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you that. So I'm a software engineer at Sumo, but I'm like pursuit enterprise, which means I only do big deals and I only new logos. And that basically means my life is very hard. So I'm kind of coming at it from the bigger deals, but this does translate down to smaller ones. Proof of value is the next kind of thing. It's a multi-week thing. You bring your data in, you do your stuff, you prove it. You have to have technical wins. Executive alignment, that's when they're going, I need to talk to your CISO. And you're like, I don't want you to talk to my CISO. And they're like, I need to talk to him. It's just a part of the deal buying process, unfortunately. Financial pricing and procurement. Which is not ever my favorite. I'm sorry if you're a procurement person. Like, your job is literally just to ruin everybody's day. So don't worry, you'll get yours in the slides. So we're going to talk about prospecting because this is one that just everybody hates, right? So sales development representatives, they get paid for booking meetings with qualified companies. So that guy that's calling you at your home, cold calling you, hitting you on LinkedIn, emailing you, and you just keep ignoring him, if they don't get fired, yeah. Most are early 20s. They don't know shit about shit in tech. Good ones do, but a lot of them, they're like, what's your system thing and the stuff? They're just reading from something I wrote them probably, or someone else did, right? They don't know anything. They're just trying to get you in touch with us. You hate emails and cold calls just like everybody. They hate their job too. But it's the only way to get into sales. Like, you can be an engineer and go from engineering background, or you can go SDR to account executive, and then you like have your Porsche payment. Everyone hates LinkedIn, but we all have to use it. It's just how it is nowadays because email's stupid. It doesn't work when it comes to sales. So there isn't a great solution. And if you liked my meme, I think it's great because, yes, they will do anything for leads. I mean it. These are like 24-year-olds. You're like, you could come over to my house and clean my garage, and then I'd give you the CISO's phone number. They would be there in an hour. I don't care if you live across the country. I'm telling you, you can take advantage of some of these things, right? We're here to make sure the deal works for both sides. Yeah, so the solution is there isn't a great solution. You need to hear from companies to know what's out there. I'm going to rant here in a second about that. If you think you just need to talk to your friends, you're dumb. The best solution I've ever seen is scheduled time. If you're a CISO, if you're someone with budget in this room, you need to put an hour on your Friday calendar, and when anybody ever calls you and you don't want to deal with it because you're too busy, you say, hey, we have an hour for vendors. I'll listen to your pitch. I do it in 15-minute segments, and I'm booked for 6 months, so get in line. And they will perfectly happily say, okay, and I won't bother you as long as I'm on that calendar because they've done their part. And then I'm going to yell at you if you don't think that's a good idea here in a second. Yeah, and delegate to people who use the tools. You have to do that. I've used this picture in every single talk because I am not the traditional security guy, and I have gone head-to-head with them in many companies, and they're not as fucking smart as they think they are, and all they have is bad people skills, and they're mean, and I don't like that. Yeah, so here's my rant. You get a budget, you run a team, you speak to the board, et cetera. You aren't really up to date with innovation. You think you are, but you're way behind on tech. Do you know why it was hard for me to go to leadership? Because I lost my pulse on bleeding pen testing and RVAsec and all this kind of stuff, and I don't have the time to research every day. I have kids. I'm not going to get off work and go watch videos for 4 hours and like code. So CISOs, you're even worse. So don't act like you're smart. I know you. You're out of touch. Yeah, stop bitching about cold calls when you don't have a way to be reached professionally. Email obviously doesn't work. Huge rant. I just told you how. Schedule some time. Be friendly. It works. I deal with CISOs not like this. I don't deal with those. But I deal with CISOs that schedule time who are, I'm not trying to sell to, they're just friends of mine who are super famous CISO guys who are like one CISO of the year last year and everything. That's where I got this stuff from. They're awesome. They treat their people amazing. They treat salespeople amazing. They're happy. They're not. Mwah! So don't be that guy. Good communication. Gosh, that's the best. Don't ever cold call me. Okay, how should I get in touch with you? I already blocked your IP addresses on email. Okay, so is there a way I could contact you on LinkedIn? Click. Was that a good way to do it? I'm speaking from experience. I've definitely hung up on cold calls and yelled at poor SDRs, and I didn't know that they were like just wanted to eat ramen noodles at night. So, like I'm telling you, man, they're like broke college kids. They have nothing. Like their kids like riding their Schwinn to work. You're like, oh damn, dude. You know, if we have a team to keep up with competitors' innovation in the space, I promise you don't know what you think you do. So I put that there, and sorry I'm not articulate. Like I just realized that I wrote that this morning and it doesn't even make sense. What I mean by that is we have a business research team in our company to make sure we're advancing faster than our competitors. I'm in the most competitive selling space there is. SIM-SOAR solutions is the hardest market to ever be in. It's a nightmare. I love my product though, so I'm here. But we have a team that does that full-time, looking at what's new just in that space. You don't know crap. I don't care how many cons you go to. Like you have no idea what the LLMs for another companies are actually training on right now, and we might. So you need to use these things for your advantage. If you're hearing a 15-minute pitch on Fridays, tell me what's actually going on with your company. What are you actually doing that's a differentiator? That's a big one. Not bullshit marketing. Tell me. Like when I talk about AI in calls, I can actually talk about it. I work with the LLM team. Like I help train the models. I know the machine learning backends. Like, so I can actually tell you like what we're actually doing, and it's not like, you know, John from marketing with like sweet hair plugs that can, you know, bullshit about it. Like, you know what I mean? It's you have access to these people and you're denying the information. So you find the smart ones, you schedule some time, and then you steal that information. And now you're like power learning because you're taking the smartest person at that company, maybe not, but their sales engineers are usually pretty bright, and you're stealing information from them, and now you have a competitive understanding of your space. So this is good stuff to like start doing it. Yeah, all in all, like I always say, don't be a dick. Old school security culture's lame. I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I'll fight you. All right, first one, discovery call. Hot takes are so hot right now. I know I'm dating myself, but I love Zoolander. It's hard to not make a Zoolander meme. Good sales team will know better than you if it's a good fit. Ooh, this one's tough. I actually have done this recently. So I usually work with commercial or enterprise, but I had to do a commercial deal, which is smaller mid-market stuff. 5 minutes into the call with one of these horrible text companies that sends you political crap. They built the back end for that, and they were like, yeah. I was like, what's your login just look like? They're like, we don't know. And I'm like, how many texts are you sending out a day? And I'm like doing math on the side. And I'm like, how many employees do you have? Will you tell me your annual revenue? No, of course not. Yeah, you can't afford this, dude. This is like, you're going to be paying the same as a company with 3,000 people just because of what they do, right? So it was a lot better for me to shut that meeting down, even though the sales guy had an aneurysm at that point. But he's new. He's a commercial guy. When you get to enterprise, you get to Fed, you get to SLED, all that kind of stuff, you know you don't want to waste time for something that's not mutually beneficial. Because then at the end of the year, you're not going to have any money and you're going to be crying because you picked bad things. So really answer questions in disco calls. It's super important. Just be open. one of my super pet peeves, I don't understand this, and I used to do it, and I still don't know why I did it. Maybe because I thought I was a security guy. Well, who else are you looking at? Nobody. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you who wins. God, why did I do that for so many years? And now I look at it, I'm like, that was so dumb. This is why. Again, we're going to do power learning, right? We're going to steal information from people. Okay, so you're coming against me. You tell me the 3 competitors. I know the space, right? I know everybody. You tell me the 3 competitors we're going against, right? I'm going to tell you what to look for in their POVs because I know where they fail because I study them every week and I look at their new inventions, inventions, can't speak. But I know everything that's going on in the roadmap, all those kind of things. Don't you think it would be beneficial to you if I said, hey, why don't you check this on a POV with them and use live data? And then you're like, hey, we wanted to see this. And they're like, oh, we can't do that right now because it's proprietary data and blah, 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 and just bullshit spews. You know they're hiding something, right? I expect the same thing from my competitors about me when I go to POV, and I get it all the time. So this is how you should be setting up your POVs. Because don't you want to know every single pitfall that's going to happen to your company ahead of time? Because nothing's perfect, right? If there was a good security software, we wouldn't be here. Oh, hot take, sorry, everybody got butthurt. But it's the truth, right? Like, if things worked, we wouldn't have to have security conferences. My whole thing is I do everything as a red team or a SWOT analysis. Is how I've always been. So this is a really good way and take good notes about what they tell you at the other end, and then you can look those things in your POV and put them on your scorecard, which we'll talk about in a second. So what I'm trying to do is matching technical wins and pain business use case. That's what I'm trying to do when I'm there. The AE is going to be asking you questions like, do you have budget? Are you allowed to sign for this? What's your procurement process look like? Are you lying to me about being able to sign this? Are we actually going to have to go to your CISO later because you lied to me in the beginning and it's going to screw up our whole deal? So be honest. Tell them if you have, like the way my budget used to work is I could buy this much, but if it was over this, then it had to go up, right? So explain those things. And if you have a budget, tell them, because they'll tell you, oh, you can't afford us. Or better than that, they know exactly what you're looking at, and if they're above it, they might squeeze it down for you. They're not going to jerk the price around, unless they're a douchebag, and I'll tell you about douchebags later. But most of them won't, because everything's too expensive, right? We're all trying to fit, 4 gallons into a 3-gallon bucket in security. So they'll work with you, because they're all, they got to pay for their Porsches. Like, everybody's dying. I have no debt. Where are we? A be doing that, and SDR will be praying it's a real op so they can eat tonight. Again, ramen noodles. And good sales teams just want to fail early. They want to fail right in that first meeting. Sales engineers are, like 130 to 300,000 a year. You're going to steal 3 of them for a POV for 4 weeks. Do you know how much that costs a company? And then they don't get the sale in the end? They get fired over that. You have to vet on the sales side what you're doing. So think about those kind of things. It's like both sides are trying to do something. Pricing is depending on tech. I talked with Chad earlier. He's like, why don't people just tell me the damn pricing up front? And I'm like, oh man, I'm the worst about that because I'm not hiding it. It's just so complicated to look at your environment from like log aggregation. I have to actually know what you do and really get in there before I can give you a price. Some tech guys are like, I'm not going to give them a price until I show them value. I learned that at sales school. Shut up, dude. Like, everybody has a budget. Like, I hate that. I only have to deal with that with one person, and I just give her crap all day about it. But I don't like that. And you can tell him that I said, like, I talked to this guy. He's super arrogant, short guy with a bad mustache, and he said he doesn't like you because you do that. It's fine. If it's an easy tech and it's priced by head, whatever, tell him, like, in the beginning, like, hey, we're 2,000 employees. If you're pricing by head, I need to have a ballpark. You don't have to give me a quote right now, but if it's out of my budget, we're not going to have any more meetings. But if it's a complicated software, it's different. You got to put time in to get those prices because that's how it works. If it's a, SIM source base, it's not simple, right? Like we have to look at how much data you're dealing with, the, compute, all that kind of stuff. Be cool. I still haven't figured that one out. But a good team can save you a ton of time. Okay, I have to actually start running. I talk too much. So demo. There we go. We did all that. And because you were cool and you told me all the things you want to see, you had a checklist ready to go. You're like, these are my win points. And you gave them to me in our disco call. I'm going to go, bam, look at our product. Yeah. I'm talking to you. Just get awkward with the audience, right? And I'm going to go, boom, and then this is the thing that you said, and it does the thing, and we love it. And everybody's going to be like, oh, sick. Y'all are the best. And I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because you were honest to me in the beginning, and you weren't looking for an observability tool, and then I showed you the damn sim for an hour, which has happened. It's super annoying. But yeah, interrupting's good to sales engineers. It screws our flow up, but we actually like it because it means you're engaged and you're not sleeping. Look for the BS in the marketing stuff. Ask how things work. If they say AI, say what kind of LLM model are you using? Is it machine learning or is it generative AI? Do you believe AGI is going to ruin the world and put us all on universal basic income? Shit, yeah, it is. Sorry, you didn't get my talk last year, but it will, so stay away from it. Yeah, so everything can be faked here. Build a scorecard for your goals. Scorecard. If you don't have a scorecard, you're going to do two things. You're going to go, oh, I think that's pretty, and it looks really cool, so we're going to pick it. Or you're going to go, who's going to take me out to dinner? Oh, he bought me some cowboy boots. I'm going to buy that software. That's not being a good security person. Be objective. Build a scorecard. I say that because I'm going to win that shit if there's a scorecard. All right, proof of value. Let's go. This is where we spend all of our money hoping that you buy us, and we bring your data in, show them all the things, and it's real. Yeah, so huge amount of work. It's going to take time from you guys. It's going to take time from us guys. Sales engineers were like always spread thin and crying in the corner. It's kind of like just being a regular engineer. But you got to have stakeholders for the tools ready. Biggest thing. If you don't own the network and we need to pull in something from the network and you wait till the POV, I'm going to yell at you. Because now we're stuck 3 weeks waiting. It should have been a 2-week POV. Because Chad and the network team won't give anybody creds, and we can't get anything done. So look at your attack surface that you're going to cover, go through all that. I know I'm blue team now. I got to stop saying attack surface. But the thingies and the things we're going to bring in, make sure you have permission. Have a good scoring system again. I'm going to say it 400 times. Make sure you have the man hours to do it. The worst thing is when we set up a sick POV and we do all this work, and there's 2 guys on the team in the POV sessions on a 25-person team. It's like, dude, why am I here? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to get to know the team. Like, I'm going to be with you for, enterprise. These deals are 8 months long, or longer. I'm going to be hanging out. I'm going to come down and have beers. Like, get your team together. Let's do this shit. Let's make sure they actually like it, because we can just stop it right there and we don't have to go farther. Shared doc. This is the biggest thing. This is what I do on every single engagement now. I have a shared document that has timeline, scope, and success criteria, so I can go through and check them or initial them or whatever we're doing, turn them green. This is huge, keeps everybody honest. You can't change your position halfway through. Scope creep doesn't happen where we started in SIM and now we're wondering why our Kubernetes cluster is malfunctioning, but you can do it in the tool so you're playing with it. All these things are huge. And success criteria is how sales engineers don't get fired, because we don't win by making the sale. We win by making technical wins in POVs. So if I didn't sell anything for the year, but all my POVs were technical wins because I was, communicative, I took care of the customer, I showed them the product, I hooked up their stuff, I don't get fired. Yay, it's another year of not getting fired. So until HR finds me. But it's a different note. Yeah, so do all those kind of things. Executive wrap up and procurement. Exec wrap is, this is all stupid, and I hate it, but we have to do this. So we build a thing this is what we did, guys. Hey, CISO, look at what we did, because you ignored us the whole time because we're not special to you, and that's okay, because we made you a pre-chart. That's what it is. And we're dealing with your procurement people who are like, hey, we'd like to give you this price, and they just give you the middle finger, and they're like, that price sucks. You eat shit, and I hate you. And you're like, cool. I'm going to send you a gift basket, and then I'm going to give you this price, and then they do it again. And then finally, we work it out. So that's kind of how this works. But there's tons of redlining and paperwork with lawyers who I hate. And all. Actually, we have a really cool lawyer now. And but yeah, just yell at marketing people. I don't care if you got a master's in marketing. You need a technical resource for everything you write because it's all bullshit. I hate it. AI didn't fix anything 7 years ago. It's just starting to get good now. All right? Sorry, that was my yelling at marketing slide. I love my marketing team. Pitfalls and traps. Keeping the competition secret. Stupid. Don't do it. It's not helping you. It's hurting you. Yeah, after your NDA, please don't hide tech. Tell us what you're actually doing, where your pitfalls are. We might actually be able to fix that. We're not here to judge your security program. I actually do free consulting like in that kind of situation because I have like a consulting side of my company for years, and I'm not charging you $400 an hour to like tell you how bad your tech sucks, right? So there's good guys there that'll help you out. Scoring system, not having budget. If you don't have budget, don't call salespeople. Like just don't. It sucks. Strictly by price, trusting the easy button. Yeah. Agnostic specialists in the space are going to beat out the easy button every single damn time. You think paying that one company that does everything mediocre is going to fix things? It's not. I hate to break it to you. You just have shitty security that has one label. Not introducing sales team to the right person. We have to talk to people who are stakeholders. We'll have our CTO come talk to your CTO, and they like do golf course things that peons like me aren't allowed to be at, and then they make deals happen. I don't know how it works, but you get a tool, and I get to pay my mortgage. Liars. So many liars in sales. Not all of them are liars, though. They think, Scott, that's one of my sales guys. He's like me. Nah, he's great. They think they're telling the truth a lot of the time. They just got misfed things by a marketing person that didn't understand the tech and knows. And then there's actual liars. And you can usually figure those out. Ask some deeper questions, and then just like remember how they answer things. And if you listen to any of my social engineering talks, like you can figure it out pretty quick. Those guys suck, and they don't last that long. POV environments that aren't real. So many times you go into POV and they're like, we have our special sandbox so you don't have to use any data and blah, 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 blah. And it's completely curated to their thing. You're not actually getting good competition. This screwed me in RVAsec. I bought a very expensive tool because I did this. And then that tool didn't work. And then I had to tell my CISO a year later why I blew $185,000. Not fun. Clear answers and marketing terms, bad. Trying to sell things outside of your pain points, bad. I don't want to upsell you on anything. I want to hit your pain points and show you how you can consolidate tools. That's literally my whole pitch. Marketing, bad. Again, I just had to put it in twice. Shady hidden costs, those suck, and not being transparent. I'll tell you why I fail. I'll tell you why I lose deals on. I'll tell you where my tech needs improvement. I'll tell you all those things. Just ask. It's important to ask and have the like cojones to ask. Partners and resellers, if you haven't been in this, partners are like Optiv, CDW, GuidePoint, all these kind of guys, and they like help you with the process of looking at things. Ask them if they're actually helping you. Some of them are wonderful, and they're looking at the new tech, and they're hearing good things. Some of them just play golf with Homeboy that they're going to make sure that you buy that thing. There's some great partners that we work with, and there's some partners where I'm like, man, I don't really like you. So make sure they're working for you. And then build a good relationship with them. If you're in that level, like smaller companies, you're probably not using partners. But as you get bigger, you kind of have to. Like we only sell through the channel at Sumo. So I'm sorry, I'm just running through this, but I talk too much. Top annoying shit that needs to stop. Can you see that? No. Stop it. It's so annoying. I hate talking to myself. I have to look at people. Everybody in the front row, I've made eye contact and we've like made a smile, right? Creepy, isn't it? Yeah, see? You get that over the computer from me. Like, you know, this is what we need. I hate just talking to black screens all day, just blank. Salespeople, learn a little something. Stop being king D-bag. Just because you're an account executive doesn't mean you can't be technical. Learn a little bit. God, sometimes it just... And my company is so hard to sell, like they have to learn that, but I've dealt with so many that know nothing. CISO, you're not that busy. Stop acting special. You're just scared that we're already breached and you've already lost your dog, so you're applying for other ones. I know this shit. I was there. SE, you're not the smartest person in the world. Sales engineers that try to outsmart you are the worst. I hate SMEs. I am the dumbest person on the call usually. I was just good at social engineering, so I convinced people to listen to me. SDR, just get dinner. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. And marketing, it's a computer, not an AI revolutionary cyber machine. Like, just stop lying about shit you don't know about. We'll figure it out. Regional directors, you're good at sales, but you suck at leadership. And procurement, you aren't a robot, you can be nice. Lawyers, I hate you. And then none of these are my viewpoints when I'm out of work. I love all of you. But I had to like roast everybody, right? Like that's all my talks. And as again, I'll reiterate, I am the worst of all. Like this is just me that I've separated into things. So compensation, this is really interesting. This is how everybody makes money. On target earnings, you hit your number, it all works out. So SE is 70 to 30%, so I get 70% as my salary, 30% is from my earnings, bringing into the company. AEs don't eat if they don't make money because their salary is so low. And SDRs, we just don't care. We keep them in a kennel and feed them dog food. So yeah, everybody always wonders how salespeople make money. There you go. So if my number is 1.7 million that year and I don't hit 1.7 million, I don't make my OTE. That's how it goes.
What's SBR mean?
Sales, that's sales business. It's supposed to be SDR. There's two sides. That's like the partner side of it. I just miswrote because I can't write.
What's SDR? Sorry.
Sales development representative. He's the guy cold calling you. And yeah. So pricing, SaaS tools vary wildly. 70, 85% markups sometimes. So they can come down a massive amount. But you're not an $8 million deal. You don't get that discount. I've had guys on $30,000 deals be like, listen, bro, I know how much you guys mark up SaaS, so I want 87% off. Like, that's not how it works. When you get into $8, $10 million, then you can demand some stuff. But the reality is there is a discount off price, so you need to figure out where you fall in that, and all the sales guys are just dying inside that I'm saying this right now, because it's hard to understand this, but certain things are worth losing money on to bring that customer in for logos, for all these kind of things. So you got to figure out if you're special or not, or how you can work with them. Some medical companies don't have a huge budget, but they have a big logo, right? Think about those things. Sorry, I'm almost out of time. Yeah, if you're just doing a pricing exercise to haggle with your current solution because you have renewal coming up, just tell us. I did it the other day. I wrote a price for a guy. I was like, don't waste my time. That's cool. Go get a better price. I don't give a shit. Come to us next time when he fails you again. So I'd rather do that than dick around for 4 weeks and thinking I'm going to get paid, be like, yes, better than ramen noodles. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we just went with the renewal. I'm like, oh, gosh, I hate you. You're a liar. Services, be realistic. Figure out how much work you're actually going to need to implement all these tools. And then when you look at your pro-serve, services is when you pay someone to implement things on big tools. So when you look at your like pro-serve stuff, you can be like, okay, we don't need 1,400 hours. I need 2 engineers for 3 hours a week, every single week on Monday, and then let us do our thing every other week for the next 6 months. And then you can calculate it. That's a good way to go into the deal, knowing that you're not just getting kicked in the balls, because I've seen guys like, yeah, you need $400,000 worth of pro-serve, because you're just like, holy crap, bro, like calm down. Like I don't even know how big my team is right now. So yeah, do that stuff. Yeah, and they need to be cool. Some pro-serve guys are grumpy. Find the good ones. Yes, as always, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. This is the best meme I've ever made. So these are like what I do. I just try to be honest with people. I sell value selling. I make sure that I can hit technical requirements. I look for pain points to fill. I don't care. I don't want to sell stuff to people that don't need it, because then my reputation is going to suck. And as we know, layoffs happen in this stupid industry pretty conveniently. You know, in the next downturn, I need a job, right? So I want everybody to still love me. So it's the same thing. This is an old slide. You can take a picture of it if you really want, but this is like no budget. You need to learn how to do budget. Look at my old talks. I talk about getting budget. Liar, snake, and marketing teams. These people suck. Not just all marketing teams, just the liar, snake side of them. For some reason, slimy salespeople suck, but they suck at selling too, so they disappear. So you usually have to. Dickheads, on the other hand, are usually good at selling, and they stick around. So you have to figure out if it's a slimy person who lies, or if it's a dickhead who's just a dickhead. I can work with a dickhead. I can't work with a liar. So that's how I do that. Yeah. Remember that last one. Questions?
I may have missed it, but in large companies, sometimes it takes a month or two to get a NDA. What point in the process do you recommend getting an NDA?
First call. So I start them absolute first call. When we're doing our disco, or even before. Like, if I know it's a big company, like I have a big company I'm working with right now on a deal. We started the NDA literally the first day, and it took 60 days to go through. Yeah. That's why these freaking enterprise deals are like 8 months to 12 months. But I have to STFU as I this card by this sweet woman. And then she gave me the finger. So guys, I love everybody here. This is my third time talking, and I probably won't get it again because the board gets pissed. You're not supposed to do it twice, and I got 3 somehow. Thank you guys so much. My favorite conference, I do. I love everybody here. So please ask me questions, and then I got to go to the airport. Bye.